Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications so you will not miss a future video.
Welcome to the channel, The Tech Piano Player Kid.
A black background with white text that reads The Tech Piano Player Kid displays on the screen with the same text written to the right in Braille. Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. This video will consist of my friends and I discussing about a taxi transportation service that has been around for a while called Waymo. This video will consist on what Waymo is and how it can be more accessible to the blind and visually impaired in the future. And now, let's get into the video. What is up, everybody? The Tech Piano Player Kid here, and this is going to be a little bit different. I have myself, obviously. I have a friend of mine, Frank. My other friends, Tony and Drake, and we're going to talk about Waymo. And Frank is the one who's going to do a lot of talking here. So, Frank, take it away.
So, hello, everyone. I don't know who knows about like what Fabio was talking about Waymo. It is a self-driving car accessible for all people with disabilities and eyesight problems and things like that. So what Waymo does is you order a Waymo very similarly to how you would order like a Uber or a Lyft. The difference is that there is no human driver inside, and these cars have been tested since 2010. So obviously a very long time, and just now being accessible. So it's very similar to the same Uber and Lyft app, except there's only one standard ride that you can order when you order these. So right now I'm in the middle of trying to partner with them because there's some people who know that I have a taxi business LLC. So I'm spreading the word about their services. Currently, it is located in LA right now, Atlanta right now, Miami right now, and San Francisco. Basically, where it's a lot warmer at right now is where it's where you can actually go there. In Atlanta right now, at least, you have to order it through the Uber app, and so it's not always guaranteed that you can get one, but you can try to get one, cancel it until, keep canceling the Ubers until you get one. But these cars, so when you get in, it's mostly like a touch screen, and so one of the things that I wanted to get a lot of visually impaired and totally blind people to kind of speak about, spreading the word about Waymo, if you know about it, to kind of, and what I'm partnering with them about is to make it where maybe it can have like a screen reader, or try to simplify the format where a totally blind person or a person with very, very low vision would be able to access it. So that's what this meeting is about, and things about what we can do to make the Waymo car be more accessible, because we can order it just fine because you would use your normal phone app and order it. But it's the fact of, once you're in the vehicle, you don't want to have to call somebody on FaceTime like a relative. You don't want to have to do anything extra. You want to be able to be independent once you get in the car to be able to change the thermostats and do all those types of things. But is there anything that anybody wanted to kind of like add what they think that Waymo should do to make the car be more accessible?
I want to add something. Sorry, I
Good.
would have. Fabio was
Fabia.
right. The hand raising thing is not working on this type of Zoom call. So anyway, what I was going to say was the thing that I was talking to Frank about when we were talking about this prior was basically like anyone who watches, you guys that watch Fabia's channel, Tech Piano Player Kid, you know about voiceover, you know about the simple method and the standard thing that we're all familiar with, the concept of tapping the screen once to put the cursor on an item where it makes the sound and it reads it to you, and then tapping twice to select it. That is a thing that other cars have yet to put in there. That is something that they do not have in there, and that's me and Frank were talking about that. So
I like to say, yeah, I was gonna say something too. That would be great, but you have to think about like how they would integrate it in, because I don't even know what operating system they have. Like
Right,
OS
and
systems
that would
like
be something.
Android and Apple have that. So and I'm putting this as a scenario, if that wouldn't be possible, maybe do something like with voice recognition where you would say, hey, turn up the temperature up to 70 degrees on heat, or turn it down to 68 degrees on heat, or same thing but with air conditioning or whatever. Put the radio on 91.9, which is a Christian station.
Kind of like an Alexa thing is basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right. And that has been one of the things that I've been talking to them about adding like a thing like an AI, like a chat GPT. That's one of the things that I've been kind of emailing them back and forth about adding something like that. So that is something that is being worked on with me talking to them about that. But that would be good to add like a chat GPT. Hey, chat GPT, do this. Hey, chat GPT, do that. And then the car would just change it where you wouldn't even have to worry about touching a screen if they couldn't integrate a screen reader to be able to do it. So that is something good, because you want to be able to ride independently and not be able to have to
Right.
use Be My Eyes or nothing like that. You want to feel like you're just driving your car,
Like you have
because
your full independence, basically the fullness
right,
of your independence.
right,
Or
and so
just make the activation word Waymo, because I mean, if it's Waymo, to say, "Hey Waymo,"
yeah,
that'd be perfect.
or
That'd be golden.
like a chat GPT that you would talk to that would be pronounced by Waymo. Hey Waymo, do this. Hey Waymo, do
yeah,
that.
exactly.
And then
But you're saying like, "Hey Siri," or "Hey Lady A." I'm not going to say the words because they're both right here, and yeah.
right.
So yeah, but
So yeah, that would be something good to add. But I know that this was like a meeting that I know that they wanted me to kind of have and try to see about getting it out, where I talked to several people like, that has vision loss, about how to enhance the independence. Because I seen a visually impaired guy ride in the Waymo, but what if he would have got cold? What if it was snowing? What if it was this or that? What if it was too hot outside? He wouldn't
right,
be able to change everything on his own, because now there's no human in these vehicles, is because these vehicles have been tested. They've been, since, going back to 2009, and now they have taken the human out of the car because now they feel that it's, accessible enough. And so now you would just be riding by yourself, and now you would have to call somebody, show somebody a screen and
Yeah, the
all
dashboard
that.
screen,
And
because it's the
yeah.
screen. Because honestly, the car that my aunt has, pretty much all cars made after 2020 or 20 something, just 2000 something, have a dashboard screen with all the radio controls, all the air conditioning controls, all the everything. It's all computerized. It's not
my
dials
Right.
and knobs or any of that
yeah.
anymore.
I mean, my mom's and my dad's car. I mean, you can still push the button for air conditioning, but everything else is like for maps or whatever. It's all
It's
by
on the
the
Right.
dashboard
trackpad.
screen.
It's a trackpad.
Right. And so what we're trying to basically advocate for these Waymos as they roll out in different cities and states is to make it where it would be accessible for all people with all disabilities, with either integrating some type of touch, some type of screen reader or some type of thing where you can talk to it like Chat GPT, to make it be more accessible. Also, one of the things that I wanted to bring up too is how the cars have um, the initials on the top of the car for you to know that your car is there. But let's say um, a place like if you work at a place for visually impaired, like the place where me and Tony used to work at, I'm not even gonna say that place, but um but like that place that actually hires people like us, and what if several Waymos showed up? One of the things would be as none of us have actually completely tested out a Waymo, but I'm sure it's very similar to like the Uber app where it does have like the license plate, but you can't. What if you're totally blind and you can't read the license plate? What about with you being visually impaired and you don't want somebody to say, what are you doing behind my car trying to read my license plate? So um so one thing would be um is to how it has your initials on the top of the Waymo. What about some type of thing to know that how to identify your Waymo if there was so many different Waymos, like that's coming to, if like I said, if you went to that place where Neil and Tony worked at and so many were ordering Waymos, and how would you know your Waymo from somebody else's? Is another thing, to kind of add some type of security code, because you also don't want to just be walking up to multiple Waymos trying to get in somebody else's, even though
Yeah,
you have to press a button to unlock the Waymo, within the app there is a button to
Yep.
unlock it, but you don't want to have to walk to multiple Waymos testing out, trying to open the door to multiple
yeah,
cars until you find your car. So that's
Yeah.
not.
yeah. The one thing that could benefit all of us is if the car could say ride for Tony or Frank or
Well,
whoever.
it does do that after you open the door. We're talking
Oh,
about before
I
you open
exactly,
the
well,
door.
that's what I'm talking about. When you're outside, when the
Uh-huh.
Waymo is there on the app, it could tell you your car has arrived, and then it will say ride for whoever, and then then that was for like someone like me. Whenever I use the app like Uber
Uh-huh.
or Lyft, I have to let the driver know. Let me know when you arrive because I can't. I have low vision.
Uh-huh.
Usually they do that, but then with the Waymo app, if the car could say ride for Tony, and then with the app you
Oh, with
confirm
the
it's
app,
you.
you're saying, oh, okay, you're saying to hear it from the app. Okay, yeah, that
No,
makes
no,
sense.
no, no, from the car, because on the app it's not gonna help you find the car.
no.
Yeah, but
What I'm saying is if the car could have like a like a AI voice.
yeah, from the outside, it does have that. But you're saying to put it from the outside too, so you can hear it when the car pulls up instead of having to wait
Yes.
until you open the door. Okay, that's
Yeah,
what
What
you're
about
because
trying to say.
what's the point of opening every single door and it's not your car? No.
Right, right, exactly. Okay, so yeah,
I
that's what
have an
you're saying.
idea.
Actually. Yeah.
What
Go
about
ahead.
this? Like your car arrives and you get notification on the app. Okay, your car has arrived, and then there should be a button in the app that says something like "locate my car" or "find my car."
Okay, yep, like a
Waymo, and
fine.
you double
Mhm.
tap that or press it, and then the car itself make a beep beep
Yep,
beep
like a
Oh, that's
noise.
beep.
Yep,
perfect.
yep.
That's like a car alarm, like the horn when the horn
Yeah,
honks.
no,
You know
no,
what you hear
not a horn,
outside?
nothing
No, no,
annoying.
no,
That's
no.
like 500 decibels. Okay, I'm exaggerating.
But yeah.
But yeah, just like a beeping that's that tells you, hey, I'm over here,
Yeah, I get you. I
Yep,
feel you.
and
I
then
feel you. I feel you.
whenever your phone meets the
right there,
car,
and you
it'll
open
say
it, it stops.
it'll, it'll say you arrived.
Yeah,
Right, right. So yep, definitely it would have like something, yep, like a beeping noise, but not super loud, but just enough so then a person can identify, yep, their car, and it will beep where you can hear it from the outside. So then when you open up the door, then it will also confirm again, like the normal Waymos do. But yep, that is good. But I'm just trying to think if there's anything else because I've watched a lot of these videos and I know I've sent them to Drake. I don't know if Fabio's ever watched a couple of the videos. I think Tony did get a couple of them. I don't know if he got a chance to look at any of them to kind of compare a little bit, but I know me and Drake have watched like quite a
Yeah, and then
few of them.
what they could do to make it assess, yeah.
Accessible.
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 Yes, yes, I can't say that word.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
whenever we get in the car, if we could like does Waymo have like a little camera so we could scan our phone, so that way it could confirm it's us and not someone else pretending to be us.
Uh when you get in the car too, you have to confirm again that it's you on the screen, but it's just like a blue little thing if you can see it,
Yeah,
or yeah,
But
it
like,
does have like a thing
but
like
how do they
that.
know that it? How do they still know that like? Is there some kind of really guaranteed 100% way to confirm that it's
Like
you? I think
like
is
for an
what Tony
example,
Oh,
like for
oh,
an
maybe
ex,
they need to add. Maybe they
like
do. Maybe one
like
thing that they need to add.
security
facial
code.
recognition.
like for an example, like let's just say me and Frank get a Waymo, and then Frank's Waymo is there, and I try to get in. Is there like a way where Waymo could say, "You're not Frank"?
Oh, the what that may be something that they need to consider adding, or adding like a pin code thing like Uber and
Yeah.
Lyft.
And I
That
say at
may be
least six
something that.
digits because 4 digits is not secure. No offense to people out there,
But
but like
yeah, maybe
your own
yeah.
personal 6 digit code, or actually no, like a 6 digit code that regenerates every single time.
Well, yeah, like Uber and Lyft. I mean, like Uber
Yeah.
does. Uber has, yeah.
And then you
So,
just go
yeah.
in there,
Yeah,
you punch it in there, press enter, and it says confirmation confirmed, and then you go
Right,
in.
right. Yeah, that
yeah.
would probably be something. And maybe these are not things that they haven't thought of yet, or maybe they're, knowing that it's so new. Like I said, it's only in Atlanta and New York and LA and, these big, humongous
Yeah,
cities and
it's
some
not in
nations.
rural areas. Rural
Yeah,
Right,
areas.
yeah,
right,
yeah. It's
right.
not in a
And so
rural
and so it's
area.
it's it's fairly new. Like I said, they rolled out the first ones out in like San Francisco, like where they first created it at, like a few like in like doing like COVID, and so it's still very very new. And then they were rolling it out real slowly, making sure that the system still worked the way they thought of, and they just now, like I said, just got it to Atlanta last month on like the 17th of last month, of 17th of June,
I
around
just
the
have to
same
say
so
something right quick. Yeah. So for a while, it was only in big bustling cities, just like how all technologies are when they first come out. Like different certain towns that are more like kind of more like have mostly they don't have all kinds of like big bustling city things. Like it's more out in the country, like fields and crops and things like that. Some of those types of places took a while to get cell phone towers and services, as you know,
right.
and they took a while to get certain technologies. It would be cool to see the day when Waymo can take you out to a forest, like it can connect to a satellite, just like how GPS went, they
Right,
were able
right.
to connect to
Eventually,
satellites,
yeah.
and they
Yep,
could connect to
eventually.
satellites up in space and be able to help you that way.
Right,
So
right.
that would
Hopefully, eventually, yeah. But I think right, yeah, like right now, of course, like big old LA, as we know, Tony's from there. We know
yeah.
how big LA is, and so
Ugh.
obviously we know why that was one of the first places outside of, and it was started out in San Francisco, and so obviously it stayed in that area, and then moved to the big LA, and then started going to other places like Miami and Atlanta recently, and other places that it's been at. But these places are a lot bigger than Kansas City. I think it will probably be where Drake is first, out out there before it gets here. Except with me possibly helping push it, may have it come here faster. But outside of that,
Also, it
I
must have been
know.
nice for the people that had Waymo in the places they were the first to have it, but it must have been nice for
The pandemic.
they didn't have to worry about people sanitizing, social distancing, all of that, because it's just a car that takes you somewhere. So that might
Right.
make it easier for social distancing if something like that happens again.
Right. And it does have if people were wondering too, it does have the same thing like Uber and Lyft where you can report your stuff lost and stolen, and then you can just lost, I mean basically not stolen, but lost in the app. And then the difference is because it's not a human driver, you would have to go to the base place of the Waymo, like the in your place. So here in Kansas City, let's say okay, Waymo's started here. I would just have to go down there to the Waymo place and go pick up, as long as they found it in the car still, go down there and go and pick it up, because since it's not a human driver, you can't just reach out to the AI and call it on the phone and be like, hey, Frank left his wallet in our car, hey, take it back. It doesn't work that way. So that some people may feel that that may be an inconvenience, but as a
Yep.
person who's visually impaired, he's like, hey, I can at least drive myself. I'm not, hey, I'll go get it. But for a
Yeah.
normal sighted person, yeah, that may be one of the things that may irritate you, is that you would have to either get another Waymo or get somebody to drive you, and you would have to go down to the base place of a Waymo in your city to go pick up your stuff, because the computer is not just programmed. It does remind you to take all your stuff out, but if you forget something, it's not just like it's just going to come back and drop it off, because
They're
it's
more
not.
Yeah.
than they're more than likely, if someone were to leave something, I guess there's an more of a 90% chance they're not gonna get it, because people these days, they just take stuff and
Takes
claim
those.
it's theirs.
Right, right. Well, yeah, we know that too, but I was just throwing that out
Lord
for if
knows how
people
many times
try
I've lost a
stuff.
Bluetooth headset in the Uber, and they're like, "Nope, it wasn't in here," when I know it was there.
Right, right. So, yep,
Mhm.
yep, but yep, because yeah, some people, yep, but yep, definitely just some things that I knew that maybe I wanted to kind of have some type of video thing, and
Yeah.
have
The moral
Fabio
of the
get
story
on to
is
kind of
we
talk
have to
about
look
it.
out for our own stuff nowadays. You have to make sure you keep everything on your person and keep track of it
Hmm.
as best as you can, because people do not, just don't care about common courtesy, manners, or
Nope.
moral stuff these days. They just do not care. They just don't. So
Nope.
regardless of how good technology gets and just any of this, we also have to keep in mind that we still got to look out for our own. Got to look out for ourselves, because yeah, people.
Yep.
Right, right,
Because
because
if
It's
we were
just
to
it's
lose,
crazy.
yeah, because you could find AirPods or whatever.
yeah. So I think those are like a lot of the things that I think that would, um, m- um, that we would think that we would need to really add, to try to make it be better, was really like um the a lot of like the stuff, the screen read stuff, because everything else, and add, like a pin code like Uber and Lyft to kind of secure your ride too before um it starts, either either the thing is though with Uber, like Uber and Lyft, though the thing would be, is would there be a would you be able to enter it on your phone? Would you have to enter it on the keypad, and they would have to integrate a screen reader? Because Uber and Lyft, usually you give that code to a human driver. In these cars, there's not a driver.
I would just
Well,
have like a tactile keypad if possible, because I mean,
Uh-huh.
you enter, it's like, please enter the keypad located in the specs, in the, I'll tell you where it's like, like in the middle console, in the back
Well,
seat, or
Yeah,
wherever.
everything doesn't have to be a touch screen. That's the thing. It is good to have some physical, actual things that you can feel. Everything doesn't have to be on a
To be
touch
touch
screen.
screen.
yeah,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
or
Yep.
unless if they were to put like a little dial pad thing behind the passenger seat.
Oh, kind of like Z Trip. Yep, like a code, a pin
Uh,
code like that. Yep, and you can just type that pin code that you see on your
mhm.
phone and type it in, and boom, that would also confirm your ride to try to make it. Yeah, like Drake said, you don't have to try to make everything be so, 2000 type. You can kind of do some little old school and add like a actual feel thing for people with disabilities, where they don't have to rely on trying to turn some type of voice screen reader thing on, because these screen readers also cost a lot of money. That's why, as we see, our
Well,
iPhones cost a lot of money and all that.
Yeah,
So yeah,
everything. The thing is, newer technology is good, but there's some other technology that's just objectively, logically better. Just because it's easier. It's just a fact. It's just a cold hard logical fact, because it just works because you can actually feel it and touch it. I like things that I can actually touch and feel. As good as digital things are, everything does not need to be digital. Let's just get
Exactly.
that out there.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I'm not saying
Completely.
digital is bad. That's not what
Yeah,
we're
no,
saying.
no, no,
We're
no.
saying that a lot of digital stuff are touchscreen, and even though that can be convenient, physical buttons are better
right,
Yeah,
way
they
yeah,
just
because
make things easier for a lot of us.
well,
Like they
here's an
really
example.
do.
Here's an example. A huge example. Okay, some places, McDonald's, they have now where you do your own ordering. Yeah, they have one machine where you have the keypad, but why not do for all of them? Like
right, yeah,
integrate both into one, so to speak. So you have the touchscreen still there for sight people, but then for the people who are visually impaired, they can use the keypad with the headphones.
Yep.
right, yeah,
Because
absolutely.
like there's a Taco Bell next to where I work at Papa John's. Right there, they do not have cashiers. If I want to order, they'll like use the kiosk. Ma'am,
You mean
I'm
the
legally
ATMs?
blind.
Oh,
And
the self checkout.
yes, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't use it. Well, we have no cashiers here. I'm like, I can't use this. Sorry, don't know what to tell you.
That's bro.
Right.
Just ask
So
them to help you.
yeah, because that's just and see, that's the thing. A lot of these places really are switching to like kiosk, self checkout.
Yeah. We all
Even
thought
like
digital. We
Walmart.
thought digital stuff was cool when we were younger, but then when we get older, we find out it actually just makes things more annoying and frustrating and hard in certain ways. Not in all ways, but in
No,
certain
no,
ways.
not
Well,
in certain
Digital stuff.
ways. Like
Especially,
for
yeah, especially for people like us with
yeah,
like eyesight and all that. Now there's an accessible car, but now we're sitting here having a meeting about how to make it even more accessible. Because people didn't think about all of that. Like I did see a guy where he did make a video, and he was visually impaired, and he rode in in a Waymo and stuff like that. But when he wasn't blogging, did he have to call a person to help him with anything? You see what I'm saying? Or could he
yeah,
really see to do everything? How big is the print? But then think about a person like you, Avia, who can't see anything. So those are things that we have to um
We have
have
to
to
advocate.
understand
We have
and
to advocate.
advocate.
We have to
Yeah, and
yeah,
advocate.
advocate, and people have to understand that this is why this needs to be this way versus that way, or add multiple ways to do something. So like you guys said, a keypad, but you can also have a touch screen, but you can have the keypad too, so it has both integrated.
exactly. To make it,
And
So
the problem with these things is because there's another point I wanted to get to at some point during this video recording, whatever. That if you bring these things up to people because they just want to create drama, or they just want to be against anything that helps people being progress, that helps people with certain things, because they're like, oh, well, I don't want this on the road or this on. There are people in the comments who will try to just be straight up bullies for no reason. And me
oh
and
yeah,
Frank have had to
well,
deal with our share of those type of people.
oh no, I've been there, and I monitor my comments very carefully. I mean, maybe a little bit too carefully, but the
Yeah.
point is that we're not trying to force changes. We're trying to say,
No.
hey,
no,
we're trying to make this more accessible, but still make it to the point where other people who are sighted can still use it.
right.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
like
to make
what
it, yeah.
oh sorry.
Yeah.
What
because
Frank was saying is if you don't like it, what we were saying about this person that we were having to deal with, if you do not like certain things, then just don't participate in these videos or comments or
Yeah,
conversations or any of that. Like they're just out here for no reason, just wanting to stir up drama. And they're basically trolls, as we all know. They're just internet trolls. Is
Yes,
basically just what they are.
because what's the point of having a self-driving car if they can add other accessories
other accessories to make it more
for
accessible. To make it
to make it more easier for the blind and vision impaired?
right,
Because
right.
if they're doing something for the sighted people, why can't they do something for us?
Right, right.
Yeah,
Because like I said, a person that a regular sighted person already has their car that works for them. Right, their car that they get in, that they start up, that they can see to drive and do. And so these Waymo taxis, I'm sure eventually as they get better, they will probably become regular cars that a person can purchase. And you don't want to just be seeing people say, well, how did Frank or how did Drake or how did this person get this type of car, ooh, I want one. Well, how come it costs this much for me, but it costs this less for you? Well, obviously, this is the only type of car I can drive. You can drive other cars.
yeah,
So, that's another thing because we know a lot of people will say that, oh, these disabled people can get all this different help and stuff. But the thing is, it's a very different situation because a
Yeah,
Waymo.
because they have certain other privileges. We're underprivileged compared to them.
Right,
It's just like with
right.
all the different types of privilege that are out there, white privilege, whatever, just kind of privilege you want to talk about. There's all they sighted privilege is something that we do not have, like how sighted people have. So yeah,
exactly.
Right.
No, but
It's,
it's just really sad that people like to undermine.
yeah, the
Yeah,
disabled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah. I mean, I've never
excuse
heard
me.
someone say that to me, but it doesn't surprise that people because like, he's blind and disabled. He can't do that.
Right,
that
right,
was a
right.
that was
Oh
a
yeah,
great
it's
voice. That was a
acceptable.
great voice, by the way, Fabio.
Yeah, that's
Thanks.
that's typical. How can a visually impaired person run a business if they own their own
They
business,
can.
or how could they
They
do this,
can.
or how could they do that? But they can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's just
absolutely.
a little bit different, but they can. I mean, I know some people who are visually impaired and blind, and they have their own business.
Yeah, yeah,
What's
yeah,
stopping
and
us from doing the same thing?
yeah, yeah,
and
absolutely.
what really gets under my skin is how people in the sighted community are so quick to say, "Oh, if you're legally blind, how are you gonna do this? How are you gonna do that? You can't do this. You can't do that." But then when you
It-
prove them wrong, okay, so are you faking it? And ugh.
Right, because you did something that
Yeah, how did they go from
that.
0 to 100 like that? It's
Right,
crazy.
right.
You know
Oh,
what?
oh
This is what
yeah.
I would do. This is what I would do. If they ask me that, I was like, all right, show me something. Show me a piece of. Show me a color. All right, what color is this? Black. And then yeah, that would just like throw them off the track.
Right, right. But yeah,
But my point is that we need to be. It. I think people are just. How do I say it? They're not.
They're just haters, basically.
Yeah, it's more of like they. I don't think they quite understand like what we go through. Like they say they. No, that's not the right way, but you get the idea. Like I think they just don't get the point under there until you know whatever you call it. But yeah,
Well, I
and
agree
then
with
I
Tony. I think
remember.
some people are just straight up haters and trolls.
Right. And I think I remember one time even being, back at the school where there was teachers when they actually had a car that was actually tested without, that was created and you could be visually impaired and
Oh yeah, I
ride in
know
it
what you're
without a
talking
human
about. Yeah,
back in 2009 or so, like back when Waymo was first starting. There was another car that came out that we saw. I think it was like me and Drake and several other students saw it on
like YouTube.
YouTube, and we were kind of talking to staff and people about it, and they were kind of giving their feedback about what they thought, and some teachers were nicer than other teachers and people about it, and so I mean these particular cars that we're talking about have been around for a while. There's not been one that's been more successful as Waymo because Waymo uses radar and cameras,
Yeah,
and and sensors to know about a person if a person is in front of the car,
Yeah.
who it learns who it's there to pick up and learns its name because it has AI built inside.
And there's people out there like going back to what I was talking about earlier, people who just want to stir up drama. There's a million other videos besides this one that you could be watching where people will try to say the opposite of what my friend Frank is saying right now, but he's actually spitting the facts. He's actually
Mm-hmm.
There are people that are trying to say that Tesla or just whatever, any of the other, there's probably more than Tesla, but the one that we're talking about here, Waymo, that's probably the title of this video, is is the best one by far
Right,
because of all
Yep.
the
because a person who is totally blind can just get in it and it will take them to where they need to go. A
you know
Tesla, yes, there are people who really brag about Tesla because they're supporters of a certain party, that a certain somebody who
yeah,
owns cars,
we're not going to get into that.
we're not gonna go all into all
No.
that, but there is people who makes cars for a living who
And
Yeah.
support
they'll go
certain
as far
things.
as saying that just because they love this person, they'll go as far as saying, well, this car has killed more people than this car. And that's just crazy how people will go that far just because they love a person to spit like actual false misinformation.
And
Like
we're
Right.
not
that is
saying
crazy.
and
Yeah.
we're not saying Tesla is bad. We're not saying that here.
No,
No, no, no, no.
No,
No,
That's a
no, we're not
disclaimer.
saying.
That's a disclaimer.
the
it's just
difference.
not as accessible for a person like Fabia's not going to be able to get in a Tesla
No.
and ride in it, because a Tesla, you still have to put your foot on the gas,
Actually, not necessarily.
you still have to steer,
Wait, is
it
Tony trying to say? Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
Frank.
yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, Tony.
goes
Yeah.
in
Actually, Frank, right there, you're kind of wrong because what it is when you connect your phone to the computer on the Tesla, you're like you can also like tell SIRI, take me to McDonald's or whatever. The car will drive itself. The only thing you have to do is have someone in the driver's side and you have to steer the steering wheel. But then what the steering wheel does when you have it on auto drive, it'll lock itself when you start turning it so it won't turn any further.
okay.
Yeah, but
And then
I think
and
what
then
Frank
this
is saying here is that you have to still be there in case the whole thing malfunctions and take over.
Malfunctions. Yeah. You still have to. Can you still? Tesla's cars have had issues where it has ran people's feet over and ran people over, and it's not ready for a person like,
yeah,
especially
Teslas may
like
be
Fabia, to
accessible,
be
but they
driving
have
it.
had more accident counts than Waymo has, so that's what
yeah,
makes them better.
true.
It's not
Yeah,
about them being accessible. It's
Yeah,
not about
but
them
back
being
what
accessible.
I was saying, with Waymo will be more
Accessible. Yes.
accessible.
accessible.
Yes. Hmm.
Sorry, for people like us than with the Tesla, because with the Tesla, yeah, I kind of see your guys' point of view because with Waymo, we're, we're fine. With
Right.
Tesla,
Right.
and then with Tesla, yes, I've been hearing that it's malfunctioning or
Yeah, in
the
that mode, in that self-driving mode, like, yeah, driving a regular Tesla, yeah, you're fine if you can see well and you can put it in, because also in Tesla you can put it in partial self-driving mode, the same thing like you can do with a Honda, and put it in self-driving mode, and it's driving and you're just pressing on the gas, and and you just have to steer kind of like Tesla. But with Honda and Tesla, it still needs a human to be behind the wheel of that. And
mm,
Waymo you can actually put that car in full self-driving mode, because there's different levels. So there's level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level, 4, and they're close to level 5. And so level 4 is almost basically self-driving slash level 5. Those are like self-driving modes completely, which means it does not have to have a human driver in there. And that's what Waymo is at, 4 and 5, why Tesla is still at 3 and 2, which means that it's not able to drive completely on its own, and it still needs human 20/20 eyesight, or at least good enough eyesight to be driving,
Yeah,
to be
straight
able
up.
to be riding in Tesla's
Yeah, so
car.
Teslas, basically, to put it short, Teslas are a convenient thing for sighted people. They're a cool thing for sighted people, but Waymos are a vital, necessary thing for a blind
That
person's
person.
independence. Teslas are basically, they're kind of just convenient. They're kind of just cool. They're
Right.
cool.
They're cool.
They're, yeah.
They're a cool car. They're cool that works with
But
for
yeah.
people if they're just driving, like maybe if you were driving out of town and you just didn't want to have to keep
And you want to put it on
steering,
autopilot
or
while you're
just put it
asleep.
on that
While you're
Yeah.
asleep.
autopilot mode. Yeah, you can put it on autopilot, but you have to still be
Or
in
cruise control, I think
control.
is what's
Yeah,
called cruise
if
control.
you yes, yeah, in cruise control. And if something happens with that car, if it runs somebody over or something like that, you are responsible.
Ugh.
Like, because you put it in that mode, you still can get sued.
Yeah.
You're still liable. Your insurance still has to pay. Unlike Waymo is a complete self-driving car. So like if we're in it, and we're driving it, but it's driving itself, if it runs somebody over, then it's
That's
considered
Waymo's
a mal
fault.
that's
They're
considered a
liable.
malfunction. That's considered a malfunction on the on Waymo company. So then they have to more likely go sue Waymo's company. They could sue you, but more likely they probably wouldn't win because it's a self-driving complete vehicle. And Waymo has not had any incidents like that, because the CEO of Waymo has said previously that she makes sure that the car is they test them so much and make sure that they are
Oh
fully
yeah.
compatible with their other cars, and they've
See,
been
they're serious about their
since
technology.
2010.
Waymo is serious about their technology.
And
Tesla,
that
they're kind of just I'm not saying they're just slapping things together, because they're obviously not. There's a lot of really intelligent people that
Yeah.
work in there, but the thing is, they do not put the amount of time and, I guess, effort into the practicality and the ability of their cars. Yeah, I
like,
think that's
yeah,
what I
like
mean about
similar,
it.
like Waymo does. And Waymo, like I said, Waymo is has to been their goal of their company and their cars is to make them completely self-driveless, where no human has to completely control that car, at the way that our normal cars operate. So that's why it works the way it works. That's why it is what it is. And a lot of people don't understand. Tesla just tries to use cameras. Cameras is not going to work for a person that's totally blind. It's just
Mm-mm.
that's what they use. Versus Waymo uses cameras, radar, and sensors. There's a whole bunch of sensors all over the car. There's a whole bunch of cameras. So there's like
Yeah, it's a
30.
lot of complicated technology that's more than just simple
Exactly.
cameras. It's more
Right.
than simple cameras.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
Right.
very
So
complex.
they have 30 I think if I remember right, they said it's like 30 cameras on that car, along with like 40 sensors. I mean, so I mean, we're talking about something that's very, very different versus Tesla. It's this particular person just wants to use cameras to make their car accessible, and that's just not going to work, especially for a person it may work for somebody with just a little bit of vision loss, maybe. That it's not going to work for a person who had to go to the school for the visually impaired. That's just
I
not
mean, like
going to
wherever
work
you
for
are,
them.
like whatever school it is for the blind, wherever it's,
Yeah,
I don't know, in New
yeah,
York or in
yeah, whatever,
Timbuktu.
yeah.
Wait, Timbuktu doesn't know the US, but you get the
Right.
idea.
But yeah, but there's, basically that's the point, that it's not going to work for any person who had to go
and
to a
speaking of
school
New
like that.
York, that just brought up a thought. Uh, Taking into account the fact that, because as we all know, people don't even drive in New York. You've seen in movies they got the yellow taxis driving down the
See,
street. You have to wave and you have to whistle and you have to say, "Hey, taxi." So it'll be cool to see Waymo taxis driving down the street one day that all don't got a human in them, because
right. Oh
that is
yeah.
going to be really, because no one people pay as upwards up to like thousands of dollars for a parking space more than for their house, is what I've heard in like New York and stuff like that.
That
So
is
most people just use
redonkulous.
taxis, huh?
That is redonkulous.
Yeah, oh yeah, it is. But anyway,
Oh
the
yeah.
point I was trying to make was, yeah, it will be interesting because you see all the yellow taxis driving down New York streets, and no one has their own car basically in certain
Right.
parts of New York.
And
People,
yep.
And
yeah.
the one thing I'm kind of curious about is, does Waymo run on battery or gas?
Oh, it charges up.
Oh,
So it's an electric car.
Yeah, it's electric.
because I was about to say, how is he gonna get gas if it
Oh,
ran by gas?
you mean how is it gonna get gas at Rambo? Yeah, no, yeah, it charges up by itself. It goes back to its main base when it starts to have lose battery, and I'm sure it stops somehow, stop getting trips or stop taking trips because it understands that it needs to charge, and then it will go to wherever the base place is. It will drive itself in, park itself, and then a human has to come and plug it in.
Yeah, we,
Right,
Yeah, but
but
then
yeah.
also, like, Waymo has to make sure that there's no passenger in the car, because like let's just say it's starting to run low and there's a passenger in the car. Like, you don't want to have the person s- um
Right, to kind of
stranded.
yeah, well, yeah, I think they have something that's invented with that. I haven't like asked them that. That may be something to ask them about. But yeah, but I think that there's something that they have built in the car to know, if it's dropping somebody off, that it cannot do that. But if it's getting too low on gas, maybe the system has like a gas thing, since it's a computer AI car. It probably has something built in the car to know that, hey, if I'm at this much gas, this much battery, uh do not accept any rides, and then it doesn't,
oh
because
yeah,
I have seen on some of the videos that I've watched, where it will be on one Waymo and then it will switch it to another one. So like somebody will be ordering on the app, and just like the same thing like a Uber or Lyft, like it will switch where it will be like how the driver doesn't want to do the trip, even though we don't know that that's what happened, but usually that's what it is. Ursa doesn't want to go that far to take you where you want to go. And so I think the Waymo has some type of computer thing like that built into it. Like, hey, I have too much less gas. Let's give it to one of my siblings, and then it does that, and your wait time probably goes up because that other Waymo is probably finishing up a ride or something like that. But the car that you had, there's just no way that it can come get you because it needs to go back to base and charge up.
yeah, I'm sure
You
they
know?
Yeah,
figure
true.
all of that stuff out. And just one more point about the gas that I wanted to comment right quick. I can't wait for the day, because that's another thing blind people have a hard time with, is the gas station machines where they have the screen on there. It will be good to finally have the day when not just self driving, but the gas stations are just completely, like, convenience stores will still be there, but it's going to come a day like 30 years from now or sometime in the future when it's just common sense. Gas stations are going to be gone because the cars are just going to be electric, and that's going to be a day
Electric,
because,
yeah.
like, I have a heart. I My aunt had me pump gas a few times, and it just was not for me. Like, if I'm not driving, I'm not pumping no gas.
Right,
But yeah, anyway,
right.
but yeah.
And
Well,
so
then
yeah,
again,
eventually.
I
Yeah.
highly doubted gas station would disappear.
You never know. What
Right.
the
And
way?
and
Because
and
here's the thing. There's a semi truck drivers who have to deliver stuff, and the same thing with Amazon, and
right,
so
well, yeah.
I highly doubt a gas station would
Well, yeah, I don't
disappear.
think it's gonna totally disappear. You'll always probably be able to get a gas car if you want it. And then you have to realize too, as electric cars become more and more popular, your those cars are gonna be the most expensive cars. And I guess,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, good point.
eventually it will eventually be more affordable. It'll eventually become more affordable to get those electric cars as they make something new with the newer electric cars, because something new is always being made. And so eventually, yeah, but right now there is no such thing as an electric semi truck.
Oh yeah, no,
Now,
no.
you know,
That would be
so
crazy.
So I mean,
That
I
would
wouldn't
take
be
a lot of
surprised.
battery power. Like,
Yeah,
jeez.
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it's one day ever created, but I think it'll be that's still a ways off as we are now getting so deep into electric
Yeah, that's
cars.
like in the
Um,
23rd century, probably,
yeah,
or
I
maybe not
mean,
that far, but like,
it probably won't be in our time period or towards the end of it.
No, it would not
um,
be in our time because we'd be so old that we can
yeah, we
Yeah.
wouldn't even.
properly.
It'll
Yeah,
probably be
so
like in 2300, 2500.
yeah, so
yeah,
yeah,
something
so
like
I don't,
that.
so I don't think
Much
that would
later
be.
in the
I don't
future.
think that would be available. I
Mhm.
don't think that would be available in our time here, but it may be a time that it will. And then as for Amazon, a lot of these days, Tony, you have to realize too, a lot of Amazon deliveries
Oh yeah, like the
are being
drones.
done
I love those drones.
are mostly being done by people driving regular cars. Like you can sign up for it like DoorDash and Uber Eats. So then people who would have electric cars would be doing it because a lot of Amazon they don't really have like drivers like that
Yeah,
anymore.
they do.
Mostly it's regular, but they do still have them. But I'm saying they don't have a lot of them like that, like they do anymore, because a lot
Well,
of
and they're
them
doing
drive their
drones now, like the
cars.
flying drones. You know, the
Drones,
drones.
yeah, it's a lot of things
Yeah.
that Amazon is doing now. It's not the way that it used to be anymore. Now they have like a lot of drones that they use.
Which that's pretty
Now,
cool. Seeing the thing flying in your air and bringing you your delivery. That's really
yeah,
dope. Like
Yeah,
and
that's
then
that
real.
that
and
would
then
yeah, that would
also
be
too.
awesome. That'd be
And
cool.
then also too, they're testing out this robot. I recently seen it on the news. They're testing out a robot now that is actually able to start doing the sorting that some people are fear that their jobs are going to be lost. But um, the people connected to owning Amazon and all that have said um, that the humans will get to the point where they're just monitoring the robots, because what if the robots break down, so you still need humans. So there's a lot of things that Amazon is doing, along with, like I said, partnering with people doing like the same thing like Uber Eats and stuff, where actual regular people are just signing up to do Amazon delivery, but they're not working um, at Amazon. I mean, they're not working like as an employee of Amazon. They're working like as an independent contractor, like like Uber Eats and Uber and stuff like that, to do their delivery. And a lot of their staff has done that. I have not seen a regular big O Amazon delivery truck, and I've ordered several things, lately, for the stuff on my channel and a lot of the blogging stuff I've been doing. And a lot of the time, it's just a regular human person dropping off my stuff.
Yeah,
And
us
then the
too.
same thing,
I never got
and
to
the
see the
same thing with
drone,
my
but I've
iPad,
seen
and
them
the
on
same thing with
YouTube.
my iPad.
Yeah.
I've never.
Yeah, and then the same thing with my iPad. Like it wasn't a big old Apple delivery truck or something like that dropping off my package. It was a regular human person in a white car, got out, walked up, and I just had to sign for my package, and then they gave me my computer. So, yeah, a lot of these places are not actually
Yeah.
uh
They're getting there,
having
but
like
it's just
employees like that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So as for, like I said, we've discussed several different things that I think that would be good for the Waymo team, and for them to to review and to look at, and to what could be added. The thing where you can kind of you can kind of verify when your car shows up, and integrate like a keypad to go along with the touch screen to make selections. um different things, or maybe you can type your selection in, or have like a dictate button at the bottom to dictate your selection, or all types of different things to make it to be even more compatible, so then we can change the air and change the heat and change all the different
Yeah,
Yeah.
functions that
yeah,
we see all the normal sighted people. I don't want to get in a car and just be burning up hot and can't turn
yeah.
the air
No,
on.
No.
especially right now while it's summer.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Or when it's freezing cold, I don't want to be able to
Oh
not
yeah.
turn the heat
Oh
on. I don't want to, be frostbitten because I can't get my
That's another thing.
heat to
If the
turn on.
car pulls up like in an area where it's snowing, you don't have to wake up in the morning and go scrape the ice off your windshield, because we used to have to do that in Kansas when we lived there,
Yeah,
off the truck
yeah,
window and stuff like that. Because Waymo will already take care of those type of things, and
things.
they'll have
Right, right.
windshield wipers that turn on automatically when the window detects that it needs it, and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right, right. So,
Yeah, that would be nice because whenever it begins to snow here, it ain't no joke.
right, right. And then, yeah, they
Or
definitely need to consider a place to bring Waymo to, that where it does have snow, to test Waymo in snow, see how Waymo does, because it does not really snow, and does not snow in LA, and it barely snows in Atlanta, where they've
Or in
already
Vegas.
tested it, or
If
in
we wanted
Vegas.
to go sledding, we had to go. It snows on the mountains here, but this year
Yeah.
it barely snowed on the mountains. But in the main area of Vegas, obviously it does not snow.
Right. And so places, so that would be the thing. Yeah.
hopefully, it could do the same thing when it's raining.
Right. Yeah.
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 Uh,
So
because
yeah, it it's yeah, and then also too, I think a lot of people have said it who've tested out Waymo already too, have said too, like, to be able to set the air and heat and stuff from within the app, which would also help, like us. You could set the car as it's on its way,
Oh yeah,
and
that
even
would be really
sighted
good.
people have
Yeah,
even
that'd
That
be
said
would be
that.
good.
really
That'd
good.
be good.
And sighted people have even said that, like, I had to get in my Waymo and then I had to like wait, and by the time I got to my destination, I was finally warm or finally cold enough, versus the what was going on outside. So then you could have something in the settings to make the car be already pre-ready, so when it gets there, it's already set for you, and it can talk and let you know, hey, all of your pre-settings, everything, your radio station and all that is, it's all set and ready to go,
Yeah.
because you set all that from within, the Waymo app. Or if you had to get your car through Uber, because that's the only way that your city, wherever you are, is utilizing it, you already went into the app and set everything already. So that would
Yeah,
be
and I
that
think
would
we've
be
I think we've about reached an hour. But yeah, we
Yeah.
talked
yeah.
about a lot of good stuff on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could
So
talk about more of this, but we covered the basics on everything. So
Yeah,
yeah.
we kind
yeah,
of touched on the interface and all the different, the different things. Or too, like I said, another thing that they could add is, like I said, like a chat GPT, where you can talk to it and tell it to do a whole bunch of different things too, where you don't even have to put in a keypad. They can add like a chat GPT in there, and you can just, you know, talk
or
to it.
Yep.
or
Tell
better
it to do.
yet, why not request it from your phone?
Yeah,
oh
Oh,
but
yeah,
request it.
yeah,
yeah, for the app, yeah.
Yeah, through the app, you can do all the stuff within the app to set everything. Yep, set everything up. They can kind of include
Like
that,
just
but
tell it like on the app, hey, I want it to be cooler.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
While you're in the car, yeah, yeah,
yeah. But yeah, I think we kind of hit
yep. So,
everything and hit on everything. And
if you guys have any questions, you know what to do. Just smash them down in the comments below, and if you have any questions, just let me know. And with that in mind, peace.
yep.
peace out,
See
y'all.
you, everybody.
You'll see everyone.
All right, guys. So here's the package right here, and you can see that's the box it came in. So let's go ahead and open it. If you flip it on the back, there are two little tab thingies. I think it's two. Yeah, two of them. And you just pull them off. And that just makes it come off. And then you basically flip it back. And oh, wow. Oh, these are nice. Oh, wow. Okay. Now I have to figure out how in the pickle juice I'm supposed to get open this. Ah, there we go. And there's some paper here. Oh, hold on. And then you have these little cardboard thingies right here. That covers the ear cuffs, and they just lift off. And then this seems to be a case. It said it's a smart case, but I don't think it is. I don't see where the smart case is on this. So you have these as the case it comes in, I guess. It's like a case itself, like, I don't know. And they just slide in, and oh, wow. Yeah, they are amazing. So I'll go and set them up, and I'll give you a little demonstration. Oh, yeah, and you have the USB-C cable right here. Yeah, so. All right, let's go and test them out and see how they are. So that's it for today's video. If you guys have any more questions, please put them down in the comments below, or you may send them to info@TheTechPianoPlayerKid.com. You can also give me a text at 913-312-1325, and if you do not live in the United States, you can text me through WhatsApp and give me a call there as well. I also have a toll-free number that you can use to give me a call at 877-318-8775. Please also follow me and like my Facebook page, The Tech Piano Player Kid, and follow me on Twitter, tech_piano. And you can also join my discussion forum on my website where you can ask questions about technology and help to answer questions about technology for the blind and stuff like this by going to TheTechPianoPlayerKid.com and clicking on the discussion board page underneath the navigation bar menu where you can register for a free account and help to answer questions and ask questions if need to be. Please make sure that you get permission from your parents if you still need to do so before making an account, just to make sure that you're on the safe side and that you don't want to get in trouble, because we don't want that to happen. And you can also subscribe to my monthly newsletter if you wish by going to my website, TheTechPianoPlayerKid.com. Again, if need to be, get permission from your parents just to be on the safe side. And you can unsubscribe at any time if you wish, and you have any trouble with unsubscribing or creating an account or deleting your account, please let me know, and I will do my best to help you out. Anyway, that's it for today's video. God bless you all, and peace. The Tech Piano Player Kid is out. Thank you for watching today's video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, and leave a comment down below. For questions, please send an email to info@thetechpianoplayerkid.com. You can also give a call or text at 913-312-1325. And don't forget to like my Facebook page, The Tech Piano Player Kid, and follow me on Twitter, tech_piano. Black background with white text that reads The Tech Piano Player Kid displays on the screen with the same text written to the right in Braille, then fades to black.